Do you want to go to Norway someday? Maybe you've already purchased a flight and started organizing your trip. Whatever stage you're at, here are 17 things you should know before visiting Norway. 1. Norway is a country in Scandinavia. We Norwegians have a tendency to feel that Norway is the center of the universe and that everyone knows who we are. The truth is that Norway is not as huge as we would like to imagine, and most people are unaware that Norway even exists. Norway is a Scandinavian country with 5.2 million people that has been selected multiple times as one of the greatest locations to live in or visit. For those who don't know, Scandinavia is made up of 3 Nordic countries located in Europe: Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. 2. Polar bears do not cross streets. It is a frequent misunderstanding that polar bears roam the streets of Norway. Fortunately, this is not the case. In truth, there are no wild polar bears on Norwegian mainland. Norway is a very civilized country, and you would be astonished at how modern it is. We even have cars on the streets. Svalbard, on the other hand, is a Norwegian archipelago located between mainland Norway and the North Pole, with more polar bears than people. Nonetheless, encounters between residents and polar bears remain uncommon. 3. NOK is the Norwegian currency, Norwegian krone. The Norwegian krone is the currency in use in Norway. So, if you only have euros, you won't get very far. Because the Norwegian krone has lately depreciated, traveling to Norway in the near future will be less expensive than it was only a year ago. It should be noted that Norway is becoming increasingly cashless. You can pay for almost anything with a credit card, including cabs and hot dogs. That is, if you forget to bring cash, it is not a problem. 4. The majority of Norwegians speak English. Don't speak Norwegian? Not a problem. The majority of Norwegians are fluent in English. Even though some are hesitant to engage in a complete conversation, they can understand the most of what you say and can assist you with any questions you may have. So, don't be frightened to greet a stranger. 5. Norway is a safe place to visit. Norway is widely regarded as one of the safest countries in the world. Even in major cities like Oslo, Bergen, Trondheim, and Stavanger, crime rates are extremely low. As with any other urban neighborhood, you should use caution, but there isn't much to be concerned about. Even walking alone at night is generally safe, and the odds of becoming a victim of a crime are low. The majority of crimes in Norway include residential and office burglaries. During the summer, there are certain pickpocketing groups who cruise about the most touristic spots, so keep an extra eye on your wallet when you are in a crowd. Still, the possibilities of anything happening is low. 6. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Norway has 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. Remember to keep this in mind if you're planning a trip to Norway. Some sites are only open during particular seasons, and many hikes are inaccessible during the winter. If your main goal is to visit a specific location, determine which season is best for that. Another thing to remember is that the weather varies greatly between seasons. When visiting Norway, make sure to carry adequate clothing because it can get cold. It's always a good idea to keep an eye on the weather forecast. 7. Always bring an extra layer of clothing with you. As previously said, the weather in Norway varies greatly between seasons, so carry plenty of clothing. Most essential, if you intend to go on treks during your visit, carry an extra layer of clothing. Even in the summer, it's a good idea to include a rain jacket and a fleece in your backpack in case the weather changes or the temperatures drop as you ascend higher in elevation. 8. Wild camping is permitted in almost all of Norway. You can pitch a tent anywhere in Norway thanks to allemannsretten, every man's or woman's right to public access, unless anything else is stated at a specific area. The outdoors is highly important to us Norwegians, and we work hard to protect our ability to enjoy it freely. So, make sure you leave no traces and don't harm the environment. There are also various inexpensive campgrounds around Norway. You can typically take a warm shower, clean your clothing, and charge your batteries at these locations. 9. National parks and the majority of outdoor locations are free to visit. Furthermore, all public grounds are accessible due to allemannsretten. This implies you don't have to pay an admission charge to a national park and can wander pretty much wherever you want. All we ask is that you respect nature and try your best not to leave any traces. 10. Norway produces the best salmon. Norway truly has the greatest salmon. In reality, it was Norwegians who first brought salmon sushi to the Japanese in the 1980s. That's how delicious our fish is. While salmon isn't inexpensive, even if you're traveling on a budget, make sure you have at least one decent salmon supper in Norway. 11. If you just eat out, traveling in Norway might be pricey. It's no secret that visiting Norway is pricey. It is not inexpensive, even though it is less expensive now that the Norwegian krone is weak. One method to save money while traveling in Norway is to eat at restaurants less frequently. Buying your own food at a supermarket is far less expensive than eating out every day. Unlike many other countries, Norway does not have a restaurant culture. If you're traveling on a budget, be sure to read our Norway on a budget guide. 12. The Northern Lights are not always visible. Do you wish to view the Northern Lights? Norway, on the other hand, is the ideal location. There's something magical about witnessing the sky transform into a green and purple formation that dances all over the place. I vividly recall the first time I saw it for myself. It was a life-changing experience. Many people visit Norway in order to experience the Northern Lights. The Northern Lights, or Aurora Borealis, are not visible throughout Norway. Because Norway is such a large country, the lady in green is usually only visible in the far north. The further south you travel, the less lights you will encounter. Lofoten, Bod, and Troms are excellent places to see the Northern Lights. You should also keep in mind that the Northern Lights will not be seen throughout the summer since it is too bright. Between October and April, you have the best chance of seeing some activity. 13. Norway is a long country. Another common misperception about Norway is that it is a small country with easy access. This is not the case. Despite having only 5 million people, it is a huge country by area, 148,718 square miles, that runs from 57 degrees to 81 degrees north. This means that you can't spend a couple of days in Norway and see the west coast, capital, and northern areas. In actuality, traveling from Kristiansand in southern Norway to Nordkapp in northern Norway takes roughly 38 hours non-stop. As a result, you should carefully organize your vacation and consider the distances between the destinations you wish to see. If you wish to see places in all regions, I strongly advise you to add some extra days or plan multiple trips. 14. The wild doesn't have many dangers. Aside from the polar bears in Svalbard, there are no deadly animals in the Norwegian wilderness waiting to harm you. You have nothing to worry whether you're in the woods, on a mountain, or on a glacier. There are some animals you should avoid, but they will usually flee before you even notice them. More information about Norway's wildlife and animals can be found here. 15. Norwegians consume a lot of taco. If you visit a Norwegian household on a Friday evening, chances are they are having tacos for supper. As a joke, Tex-Mex is considered Norway's national cuisine. Yes, it is that popular. My grandmother makes tacos on Fridays. Okay, you didn't need to know this, but it's an amusing tidbit that may serve as an awkward icebreaker. 16. There is a significant difference between southern Norway and northern Norway. Because Norway is such a large country, the discrepancies are bound to be significant. The south offers gorgeous coasts and mild, but not tropical, weather, the east has extensive tracts of woods and the capital, the west has fjords and mountains, and the north has Arctic scenery. You may also notice that the dialects spoken in Norway are rather different, which might be confusing if you are just learning Norwegian. 17. The midnight sun is not a special sun. Northern Norway experiences polar nights throughout the winter, when the sun never rises over the horizon and there is 24 hours of darkness. During the summer, on the other hand, the sun never sets. You've probably heard of the midnight Sunday. Contrary to popular belief, the midnight sun is not a different Sunday. It is simply the same sun as the rest of the year, but it does not set, resulting in 24 hours of sunshine.